Well, here we go, guys. Antiga Shipyard is the map, and up at the top left part of it, we have our blue Terran player from the team Dignitas. It is Select, a very aggressive Terran going up against our red Protoss player, winning 2 games already today in Team Arena Challenge 3. It is Evil Genius's HuK.
Yeah, he's certainly done his job, I have to say, and everything else from here on out is just kind of, well, gravy. So
yeah, pretty much, and it is delicious gravy.
Quite. But is it white or is it brown gravy?
Brown, the best kind. I have to say, too, though, I don't like gravy on my stuffing. I only like what?
Why are those mineral fields look so ugly on mid?
Oh, they are kind of that's space. Well, that's not our version of the map.
That's kind of weird. This huge gap right here. So I don't know, Sam. I am
weird.
Yes.
Very odd.
Anyway, so. Well, thanks.
I would agree.
Appreciate it. So it does actually look exclamation mark at symbol $$ $did up.
Yeah, I would agree. That's strange. Well, either way, you don't often see those bases taken in TVP anyway, so
that's right.
Don't worry about it too much. Select. Now, Select, yeah, he's a player that I feel like has hasn't quite shown the results that he's wanted to in this year in 2012. He was doing a little bit better in 2011. He was in the GSL. He won a few games here and there, but didn't necessarily get terribly far. But I always really, really enjoyed watching him. Especially there was a game, and I think it was on Antiga Shipyard, and I can't remember who he was playing against now, but his EMPs and his snipes were so impressive. He just made the Protoss opponent look silly. So he has the ability to do that type of thing in this matchup. And even though there has been those nerfs to EMP and snipe since then, it still can be effective in the hands of a master ghost. So we'll see what Select decides to do.
HuK being very annoying with that probe, of course, as HuK is wont to do. Select going to opt for a 1-Rax gasless fast expand, as we can see back on HuK's side of things. Though everything's setting up for a pretty normal 1-gate expand, but he could certainly do something a little bit out of the ordinary.
Yeah, now I'm going to go back to talking about the Terran side again. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
I wonder if Select is going to go for a more powering style than we see. I mean, he's always been the type to go for medevacs very, very quickly and start dropping. But lately, it seems like the really successful style in Terran versus Protoss is to just go mass bio units, to just really power out off of 4 to 5 barracks very early on, and then make really, really strong mid-game pushes, and then follow that up with a really beefy late game. So I wonder if he's going to go ahead and switch his style to kind of the popular way to play it.
Yeah.
That a lot of people like Polt have been winning with, or if he's going to play his own, brand of TVP that's worked for him, but isn't necessarily the most effective thing in the matchup right now.
People have been going very light on medevacs, but I just can't ever bring myself to see Select doing that. I mean, his trademark multitasking, dropping all over the map, it would be a different game if he were doing such a thing. So Select going for 3 racks after his gasless fast expand. No real surprise, though.
Yep,
and he'll double gas shortly thereafter and can opt for quite a bit of versatile play, depending on what he wants to go with.
Yeah, the big thing is if he gets a 4th barracks, but I doubt he will. I mean, this is Select. He likes medevacs, like we said, so it's probably going to be 2 gas coming down after these barracks. A little bit of Stalker pressure coming out for HuK, and Select has to fall back to that bunker, but like any good Terran, he does have one prepared, and it's not going to be a problem at all to defend. Oh, nice scout, too.
Yeah. HuK there trying to kite with the sentry, but unfortunately it was not quite enough.
Yep.
And the sentry does get the SUV does get a full scout, and HuK actually putting down gateways number 2 and 3 right afterwards. Now this was kind of interesting because I think he held up on those gateways longer than he wanted to. They hit at about 30 supply, and usually it's late 20s whenever they're feeling like they want to put on some pressure or they need to get units out early because they think they're going to be under an attack pretty early, which is a good call against someone like Select.
Yeah.
But, HuK was actually, but usually you see that a little bit into the 30s if they're playing more defensive. That was kind of right in between, so I think he wanted to be erring on the side of getting a few more units out there, but wasn't able to put them down quite quickly enough.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if HuK decides to put any pressure on Select early on, it's going to be very, very mild. This is a map where you can take 3 bases fairly easily, and with Blink you can kind of defend those, okay. So HuK may want to move into the late game. He's putting that pylon down, but again, this isn't anything weird. We do often see a little bit of pressure at least. I mean, if the Protoss player can get in there, kill off the bunker, there's a situation where you can do potentially a lot of damage. So it's worth giving it a try. You can always just pull back and use those units for defense too.
And looks like Select not producing any Marauders quite yet. It's going to be pure Marines for the time being, as he is getting +1 weapons as well. So Select actually is changing things up a bit. What's he about to build with this SCV here, as we do have some units being rallied up for HuK as they start to attack here in a second. There's 100 Gas and Bueller,
there it
Factory.
is. The factory, yep. Got his engineering bay first so he could get stim and +1 at the same time. And we've seen more and more Terran players going for a lot of Marines early on because, frankly, they're better than Marauders. So look at this. He catches a Stalker. Nice snipe there by Select, and he's going to get back there no problem. A lot of Zealots, so with this composition. Dignitas.SeleCT, yep, responding appropriately, pulling a lot of SCVs. Oh, nice force fields from HuK. No repair on that bunker, and it does go down.
Yeah, so now HuK with really good force field control around the side as well is going to kill a lot of Marines here.
Yeah, the thing is the damage on those Marines are so high. A lot of the Zealot numbers were whittled down very quickly, but Select had to use a lot of SCVs to do it.
And HuK is looking very good right now, stopping the construction of these bunkers. You talked about this possibility. I mean, once you go through those front bunkers, it's a lot of havoc can be wreaked, and it looks like that's just what's going to happen here. Yeah,
exactly. If you catch your opponent off guard just even a little bit, you have the ability to potentially do a lot of damage. So HuK, you know, doing that, and man, look at that. He kills everything at the natural except for the command center. Totally worth it. I mean, if he had pushed up that ramp and the SCVs had been in position, he could have just pulled back. Nothing would have really, you know, hindered him at that point, but the SCVs were not in position in time, and HuK doing a ton of damage now, getting way, way ahead. 64 supply to 32. He is doubling Select supply at the 9-minute mark. That is a bad thing for Select.
He can pretty much do whatever he wants now. I mean, he's going up to a total of 6 gateways now. He's got Blink on the way. We may even see Hallucination or something like that in a bit, so he can forego Robo and Blink up into the main. But everything is looking pretty good for HuK.
Well, yeah, the thing is I mean, with 6 gateways like that, and with Select only mining off of 1 base, he can just simply create units and just have more stuff than Select does. And when Blink finishes, that's going to be a pretty good timing to attack with. Now, Select will probably have combat shields, and he will also have medevacs out. So his army will be pretty strong. Stim is done as well. So it's not going to be, you know, a complete walk in the park for HuK, but he's going to be in pretty good shape. Looks like a little bit of a pause there.
Maybe a little bit of server issues there, unfortunately. But looks like HuK going to make his way up the front now, and Blink is finished.
That's right, nice force fields trapping those Marines, and the Blink up on the bunker. SCVs they did get there to repair, and HuK, okay, well, he's got pretty decent force fields, but will he have enough to take out the bunker? The answer is almost.
He pulled away for just a second, and that bunker was able to recover enough life right there. So HuK, unfortunately, has his attack stopped. Select continuing to add on to this force.
I'm pretty surprised that HuK actually attacked right there, honestly, because his 6 gates were about to finish. He could have warped in that round of Zealots that he's got right now and then pushed with about twice as many Stalkers as he has and had a much better chance of winning. But as it is, this push is a little bit weaker. Ooh, the Zealots not in the front either.
Yeah.
HuK, you know, I mean, the thing is that he's really far ahead right now, obviously, right? So he doesn't necessarily need to finish off Select. He can just kind of pull back and get more ahead. He's scouting for other bases right now. He knows the possibility of that hidden base, as we see, is out there. And,
no!
There's a medevac.
Oh!
It's going the wrong direction. That should tell HuK exactly what's going on.
Yeah, we'll see here, though. Select flying back to his base now. HuK actually going to move back with a few forces up to the top left-hand corner. He's not checked over to the right yet. Select actually starting to get some pretty good mining from that as he does reestablish his natural.
Yeah, no kidding. And he's got his 3rd orbital command just finishing right now. HuK, though, getting Storm. The medevac count is going to be a little bit lower than for Select than it normally would be, and he's certainly not going to have any ghosts anytime soon.
No.
So Templar, a good choice by HuK. And here he comes. No bunkers there.
There's the stim. Yeah, Select trying to kite back. Unfortunately, gets trapped by a lot of force fields, picks up everything, and then loses a few units on the way as well. And he does pick off one of those medevacs, so now Select with just kind of a token force sitting on top. He is forced to pull back that command center one more time, albeit mining off to the right. He just doesn't have that many forces on the field.
HuK needs to find that base, though. He's got to be getting a little bit confused. He's got to be thinking a little bit, well, first of all, thinking, oh, I can't believe I sent my Zealot there, but also thinking, you know, he actually doesn't seem to be slowed down too much in terms of production, so there's got to be another base mining somewhere. Double Forge on the way, and a few more gateways for HuK, and Storm is almost done. So HuK's still quite far ahead, but could be scouting a little bit better. Looks like he wants to come up the ramp right now. Sentries and Zealots on the way. The Sentries actually blocking the Zealots. There we go. Coming in, and look at that Storm.
Yeah, Storm hits on top, and that's going to take care of a lot of the SCV
Blink.
buffer there. Blink off to the side, as you mentioned. Yes, Storm hitting more units there. A few Marauders actually dying in that little push. Archon being morphed in now as well. The Zealots proving to be so effective there. They've finally gone down, but most of the meat shield is gone for Select, and he only has a handful of units left over.
Yeah, the big deal here is that HuK can recreate his army pretty easily, and Select is going to have a bit of a harder time, and not to mention that everything he makes is going to be kind of trapped up there too. HuK has him very well contained, getting 1-1 and just deciding to pull back, wanted to just kind of thin out the army. That's pretty good. That's a good drop defense measure, actually. If you thin out the army like that, they're going to be less compelled to try to drop, just because then if you attack at home, you know, they know that you're going to just win. So he doesn't need to worry about drops as much either after that fight.
I will say, though, Select is doing a very nice job of holding on at the moment. He's still down by 35 supply. He's still in a pretty bad way in terms of the amount of units that are actually available for him. But, oh, and it looks like HuK finally finds this base at the top right, and that is devastating for Select.
Yeah, Select has the question now, you know, does he lift off and go try to save these units, or does he just kind of defend his natural expansion? It looks like he is going to just defend the natural, not deciding to go after that base there. He's probably just going to lift that command center, but he's going to lose some SCVs in the process.
Yep, loses everything there, and starting to pull some of those units away. They're just going to get torn up by these Stalkers, unfortunately. As we can see, though, Select trying to make a defense back at home. He does have 2 bunkers up at the front.
Yep. Now, HuK did not chase those SCVs into that other base. He didn't want to get his units that far out of position here. Ooh, he might actually get that command center, too. It's burning, and he does get it. Nice snipe on that command center by HuK.
Very well done.
Yeah, supply is continuing to increase. I mean, Select is just so far behind right now. He's getting his Ghost Academy, and he does have 2-2 on the way, so the upgrades are pretty nice right now for our Terran player, but, you know, in terms of just having units, HuK is miles and miles ahead.
Yeah, it looks like HuK are going to run right up the front here. Charge finish for those Zealots as well. And they are very powerful now and a little bit beefier with that +1 armor that did just finish up. Yep. Select trying to build in that supply depot wall as he continues to increase his units, but it is going to be a very difficult proposition.
Oh man, that's a lot of Zealots, and they all do have charge. Here we go. Guardian Shield going down on those. And the Sentry decide not to continue shielding the Zealot, but that's okay. Oh, great defensive storms from HuK, keeping those units at bay.
Yeah, and
dancing the Zealots again.
And Select just really doesn't have a lot left over. The rest of the units down to the bottom left are going to die. He's trying to hold on back on the ramp, but there's a EG.HuK.
Wow.
Has just taken his 3rd game in a row.
EG.HuK on his way to an all-kill here. 3 games, 1 against Dignitas, and